So yeah, I don't rewatch it. Just for education purposes. If you want to rewatch yourself, I already hit the record. You want me to share to you how it actually works?
Your channel?
Yeah,
Yeah.
let me share my screen with you. Right, so in here I have all of you. Hang on, let me. In here I put up all the record app of our meeting. So I'm
Yeah.
using. Yeah. So in here I have a CC button here. So if you want to have a script, you can click this button and unclick it. It just hide itself. So sometimes we have some difficulty to understand some word of my way of saying it. You can have some kind of subtitle to rewatch it. For some reason, the internet is really weird. It's very slow for some reason. Let me end a meeting now. Don't shut it. Start presenting. Okay, now get back to our session. How are you?
Yes. Uh, today, today, yes. Today I feel good. It's a normal day. It's a normal day. Yes.
Okay, similar to me. Dizzy, whenever I have some people ask me this question, I'm kind of still this quote from Spider-Man. It say, "How are you?" I think about it. Okay, I'm trying to be better. Have you watched that movie, Spider-Man? I think it's No Coming Home or something, the latest version of Spider-Man. So when the octopus doctor asks Spider-Man, Tobey Maguire, "How are you?" Long time no see, and then Tobey Maguire to reply that I try to be better. Right, okay. Just want to ask, I asked this question, I have the same question with all the students. So why do you want to join my class? And then what is your expectation out of my class? And then what you want to learn from me? Because I'm not a professional teacher. All I can share is my knowledge when I'm working in my company and some knowledge because I listen to a lot of podcasts. I can discuss a few things about philosophy, um, IT, engineering, some stuff like that. It just also helped you to some kind of spark some curiosity in learning English because when you learn English, it open a door to access a lot of knowledge and data. Because in Vietnamese, is the amount of knowledge you have is quite limited, and then a lot of book you read being translated from another author, which is sometimes is quite different. Not 100%. You may be about 10% different compared to the original author. I've read some of translate book and it's quite different. So I know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Honestly, this is a difficult question, but I think yeah, the first one, maybe you are a new teacher in a better Vietnam rather than older teacher in a better
Yeah.
Vietnam. Yeah, so and also I believe that maybe you are older than me, so you have many experiences, knowledge, and I think, and I'm also intrigued your maybe what something like what I say now. Um, and I also want to you share, yeah, share your, yeah, share your knowledge and yeah, experiences that you have you had, yeah, and besides, you know, and I also want to have more information about life in studying abroad, because I know you are Vietnamese, so you also live abroad. Yeah. Yes.
Yeah, I'll go on your typing. I think you're a bit tense. Try to relax. For some reason, I have a gut feeling that you feel a bit tense when you're trying to talk to me. Does that make any sense?
Yes. Yes.
You sound
This
like
is
a
the
bit
first
stressed.
time.
Yeah, you sound a bit stressed when you try to talk to me.
Yeah, this is the first time
Yeah,
I
yeah.
met you.
No worries. Sorry, it's okay. Um, when I first talked to John or Hex in the human resort in A Better Vietnam, so A Better Vietnam, I come up with a very short term ABVN. So when I say ABVN, it means A Better Vietnam. I'm lazy. That's it. So when I first joined ABVN, John and then Hex member talked to me like it's good for you when you join the first session. You kind of introduce yourself to your student so you kind of know it better. I'm sick of it because I write my bio in my ABVN teacher, and then when you sign up for me, obviously you already read that, so I don't want to repeat myself. I'm sick of it. So I rather to ask you a question, what do you want to know about me? And I'm gonna do the same. What do I know about you? I think it'd be better that way. Or you can give a brief introduction about you to me. So I'll type it down. So normally I already have maybe 5 or 6 students already, and every time a new student introduce themselves to me, I make a note in here. So I have a quite a long note about uh, my previous student. So
Yeah.
what do you do at the moment? You sound quite, for some reason, I got my gut feeling telling that you quite mature. I've read your bio. I've see when was you born, but you sound really mature compared to all the students I've been teach so far.
Uh-huh. Yes. So now I will introduce myself a little bit.
Yep.
Yeah. So yeah, I'm a student. I'm junior. I'm studying at Đà Nẵng University of Economics. I was born and raised in Quảng Trị province. Yeah, and now I'm living in Đà Nẵng City for my studies. And about my hobbies, yeah. So I be friend of sport. I like playing football because I can play it well rather than in others types of sport. Yeah, and and yeah, and I know, and now I want to share about how I know about Vietnam for you.
Yeah.
Yeah, my friend, she is member in a Better Vietnam. So she introduced a Better Vietnam for me, and after that, I uh, applied the form to a Better Vietnam because this is a non-profit program, and which is useful for um, many students like me. Yeah, and yeah, after a long time I studied at a Better Vietnam, I feel more confident in speaking and writing, something like that. But because in the first time I'm quite nervous. uh, I, yeah, for example, in the first time I studied the first lesson with our volunteer teacher in the Better Vietnam, I feel very nervous, very nervous because sometimes I feel um,
I can feel it
I
now. I can feel that
yes,
you're still nervous right now.
yes, uh, yeah. Some so I sometimes I think maybe teachers didn't maybe they don't understand what I say what I'm saying and I'm very nervous for that. Yeah.
Yeah, oh good, absolutely fine. So I remember when I first tried to practice English, when I first come in here and speaking, well, if you speaking with people at your level, you kind of feel more comfortable because you allow yourself to make mistake, right? But if you talk to some kind of a teacher, see, in some way you might have a barrier. You're not allow you to make mistake when you talk to them. You try to make every single sentence of yours to be perfect, right?
Yes.
Don't worry about it. So you can talk to me like a normal person. I'm not judging you. That's fine.
Yes.
And I'm not a professional teacher by any way, so don't worry. Just relax. Yeah, it's a normal. Even now when I'm talking with you, I'm also feel a bit nervous, but I'll talk my way out of it.
Yes.
Right. So you mentioned you play football. What position do you play football? What position is it?
Yeah. Can you repeat it?
No, you mentioned to me you play football at your sport, at your favorite sport. What position is it?
Season?
Position.
Can you?
What is your position
Yes,
in
position.
football? Yep.
Yeah, I always you can I can change many position
Yep.
yeah in the game yeah.
Right. I also play football, but I'm not good with advance. I play as a goalkeeper.
Yeah,
But
goalkeeper
but
yeah.
when but when I was in high school, I stopped playing football when I come abroad, when I come to Australia. So yeah, I being hit a lot into my face. People shoot to my face a lot. I'll tell you that. Yeah, and my dad actually come from Quảng as well. My dad. So
Oh
that was
yes.
my dad hometown. But I was born in Ho Chi Minh. I was born in Saigon, not in Quảng Trị. But Quảng Trị is my dad hometown. So I never been in Quảng Trị before, but my dad he kind of go to Quảng Trị maybe once every few years just to visit the his relative and some of his friends. Majority of his friends is still in stay in Quảng Trị. So he moved to
Yeah.
Saigon just to change his life and find a better, I don't know, just to start a new life in here. Right. Okay. Uh, who was your friend? Because I have two, no, actually three students. They're all from Da Nang University. So I have Tâm, I have Jamie,
Diệu Ấn.
yeah, and then Yuan. So
Diệu
Yuan
Ấn
was
yeah.
also work in human resource at ABBN,
Resources
but
yeah.
for education affair.
Yeah. She just change her position
Yep.
yeah.
Yeah, she moved from HR to education affairs. She used to work at HR position. Now she moved up there, and then Nhung actually moved
Yeah.
to do the human resource. So yeah, you are supposed to be the person who interviewed me when I first applied for this volunteer position. But then later on something happened, and then Nhung take over, and then Nhung interview, and then Nhung take care of me now.
Yes.
Right. Okay. So, what have you been learning so far? So, can you tell me what was the lesson that you remember the most with at ABBN, obviously?
Yeah. Up to now, I have learned 28 and 29 with you, 29 lessons with you.
Hmm.
So the lesson made me impress is that maybe the lesson with teacher Jim. Do you know teacher Jim? Maybe you know
No.
teacher
Tell me
Jim.
about it. Pretend that I
Yeah,
know. Pretend that I
yeah.
know him or her. Tell me more about it.
Yeah,
I want to have.
yeah,
I want to learn about it.
yeah. The first, maybe in yeah, I'm the first lesson with him. He sent to me a message that I'm a 19, no, no, 500 students, 500
Right.
student, yeah, register his lesson, yeah, and after that, you know, like today lesson, I'm very nervous, but he's trying to try to explain, tries to have me feel comfortable for that lesson, and he also give me a long moment to introduce myself, and and after that he yeah, he recorrect many many incorrect pronunciation, my pronunciation, yeah, yeah. He said that I omitted many ending sounds, and after that he sent me many videos how to pronounce correctly, how to try to not um, omit ending sounds, yeah. And yeah, after just after a long time I try my best to practice, to don't forget to not forget ending sounds. I become more better in my pronunciation. Yeah, and I think is the memorable lesson in my in a better Vietnam.
He sound like he doing a good job. You as well.
Yes.
Yeah, you sound good. No, nothing. I'm just trying to find a topic to talk. I can't give you compliment because if normally I give compliment, it sounds very cheesy. I don't like it. Do you know what I mean?
Yes, I know.
Yeah, it sounds
I
cheesy.
understand.
For personally, because I was raised in a family that my mom and dad rarely give me compliment. So when other people give me compliment, I'm kind of uncomfortable. So I'm doing the same, but I'm trying my best to give compliment when it's supposed to be. So I'm kind of give credit when it's supposed to do. Would that make any sense?
Yes.
Okay. Okay. So do you want to ask me a few questions? What you want to know more about me? You mentioned that you want to know about my
Yeah.
experience from learning abroad. Just ask me, throw a question at me. I'll answer your question.
Yeah, I want to say life in living abroad is different, is more different, yeah, than living in Vietnam. Yeah.
Well, in my opinion, that's what I say. First of all, it fuck, and it way harder compared to how I live in Vietnam. Because when I was in Vietnam, actually, my mom cooked my meal for me. I don't have to go to work or do just study all day. But when I go here, I have to study, have to work, have to pay for rent, have to balance my fee for uni, have to make budgets, um, have to work it out to see if I work for this amount of hour, I make for this amount of money, would I enough to cover my expenses for the rest of the year? If something happen, I'm short on budgets. I have to figure it out how to rebalance it. On top of that, I have to attend uni, pass course, worry about my visa, etc., etc., etc. So it's escalate from 0 to 100. So
Yes.
that's the thing. Yeah, it's escalate from 0 to 100 in a flick of a finger. But well, in saying that, if you ask me, would I blame my parent or would I blame my family to bring me to Australia? I say no. So looking back, because of all of that, also I'm not sure if I should say I'm thankful because I was born in a not a rich family or no. Because let's say if I was born in a rich family, I could be behave differently compared to how I behave now, and then I could be a different person to compare to the person I am now. Which I'm not saying I'm satisfied or happy, but I'm thinking a better version compared to the past, and I also look forward to improve myself in the future. But look back in the past and say, all of that hard work worth it. It's just for me. It's just I'm missing out. There's some area that I kind of regret and it is sad. Not actually regret. I'm kind of feel missing out, but I can make it up in the future because most of the time I was just spending time in uni, workplace, restaurant, bakery somewhere, or in a farm working to make money, and I don't have much time to go with my friend. So I'm kind of missing out all the uni life where you hang out, drink, I don't know, having alcohol, party. I'm missing all of that. But in the future, I'll make it up. But not by partying though. I'll just make it up by spend time with my family. If I see my friend, I'll maybe go in there and have some quality time. So now I'm actually a lot of time I'll work for like I don't know. Some day I work for like 20 hours a day. I have 4 hours of sleep. Now it just kind of dropped down in my life, kind of more easier. So it's more balanced now. Yeah, I should say it's more kind of more balanced now compared to how it was in the past. I'm not sure about other people though.
Mhm.
Yeah, and also another thing that I've learned that well, I got an honor degree here, and that honor degree is just some kind of a piece of paper. But it's good in some way, but it's not good in some way. It's very expensive piece of paper. And I think the only benefit I get out of it, maybe two, it could get me promotion a bit faster if I can find a job. If I can't find a job, that piece of paper is kind of useless. And the most benefit out of it is it improved my English skill because I have to figure out a way to learn English fast just to pass all of my subject just to get that PS paper. And during that process, it forced me to learn English. Sorry, it forced me to learn English in a faster way. Yeah, yeah, in a faster way. I can tell you that before I came to Australia, my English is basically zero. My average scored in English subject is about 5/10. That's it. 5.5 or something. I don't have that high score in English at all. None. None. Yeah.
So, so how did you do to improve your English in Australia?
So right. So my trick is I avoid all Vietnamese people when I learn English. So there was a compulsory course when I arrived at Australia. So I have to learn 6 months of English, and during that 6 months, I ignore all the Vietnamese. I rarely talk to Vietnamese students. All the students I talk to Chinese, Indian, Filipino, Malaysian. I talk to non-Vietnamese speaker.
Yeah.
On top of that, I watch a lot of movie, reading book, plus uni tasks as well. So, and I'm trying to make reading a good habit. Like when you want to learn English, or when you try to learn reading, You don't read textbook. Do you know what textbook means?
Textbook? Yeah, I know.
Textbook, right. You don't want textbook. So when you try to teach children how to learn to read, you don't give them textbook to read. You give them comic. You give them comic book and then have some picture. It kind of fun to read. And later on, I learned rather than reading journal or scientist paper, I'm reading or listen to book that it make me feel interesting in this case, movie. And in this case, self-help, economic, stock trading, human history, etc., etc.
Yeah.
Philosophy as well. Yeah, some kind of it. Right.
Yeah, now I'm also trying my best to study English because I want, I maybe next year I want to get get an IELTS exam. So in practice, speaking, yeah, especially speaking, yeah, I don't have partner to talk with. So yeah, I don't, maybe what do you think, how to improve speaking English when you don't have partner,
You read a
when you
book
don't
out
have
loud.
read
You
it out
can,
loud?
yeah,
Yeah.
read a book out loud. So I think that's one of the best tip I can think of it right now.
Yeah.
And watch a lot of movies.
Yeah. But yeah. So
Well, when
do
I'm
you?
saying movie, you don't have to actually watch a movie. You can actually watch documentary or watch some, yeah, documentary podcast. They talk about things that you like. So the more you listen to native speaker saying word, it just kind of it flow into your head naturally.
um,
Yeah, and then when you practice, the quality of your partner is also play a very important. So if you talk to a shitty speaker, like your speaking ability just go downhill. But if you talk to a native speaker or a quality partner, your skill should improve in the background without you knowing it. Just like when you learn Vietnamese, when when you was young, you talk to your mom and dad, and because your mom and dad don't speak you a lot of things, but the way that they should talk very, they talk in a native slang. Then, sorry, for some reason I get a my throat being blocked. So my my accent is a bit weird now. My voice is a bit weird now. So when you, so when your parents try to speak to you, they speak in a native song, and then you learn it in like instinctively to
yeah.
speak in Vietnamese in a very fluent way. So you can, yeah. So when I'm saying movies, don't have to be movie or like podcast. So listen to your podcast or audio or listen to audio book, but listen to the thing that you like. The way that I'm doing it, I'm going to podcast looking for the top selling or top rate podcast because the reason the top rate is always the easiest one to listen to, and it's the topic of that one is most of the time is the most interesting one and it's easy for you to listen to.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, for example, when you watch a good movie for 3 hours, if it's a good movie, you feel like half an hour, like sometimes 10 minutes. But if you watch a bad movie, even 20 minutes, it take you like you feel like an hour already passed. You said, oh, it's so long. Kind of like that. So that my
I
tip.
understand.
Yep.
Yeah.
So and I'm not sure if should I say it. Normally the way that I get the podcast or audiobook, I'm doing pirate. Do you know Pirate Bay?
uh, I don't know.
I download for free.
Yeah.
Anyway, do you want? I'll share that podcast. Do you know torrent?
Can you
Torrent?
type it? Can you type it?
Yeah, sure, I do. So normally I
Type. Yeah.
get audiobook, PDF, book, anything, or even game. I get
Yeah.
it from there for free. I'm not supposed to saying that. I'm not supposed to saying that. I feel I'm a bad person at the moment. So this is a website I normally get the link from. No, not that one. Sorry, my bad. This is the one. So normally, if I found audiobook that I want to download or listen to, I go to that website, type in the title, it pops up. You figure it out. You can Google it around, and you can find a way how to download material from that site. Right. So I have a debate. If do you want to know more about me, or do you have any more question about me that you want to know? I can answer. Otherwise, I have a list of topic of debate that we can talk about and try to force you to dig out some vocabulary in your mind to talk to me, or explain to me to make me understand it, and we
Yes.
can debate about it.
Yeah. I think yes. I think it's interesting.
Okay. First, do you have any topic you want to talk with me? Or anything, any topic that you recently found interest you want to talk with me? I'd rather
Mm,
go that way because it might be easier for you to start with you first, and then I'll go with my list later on.
maybe something about my major. Yes.
Yep.
Yeah. I'm studying. My major is international business, so maybe we can talk about business.
Right.
Yeah,
Sure.
something like that.
Sure. All good. I can talk about business. So what kind of business topic you want to talk about?
Uh, mm, I think you can choose this.
So what was your recent essay you had to write about? That's the easier part. Do you have to write essay? I believe you do.
Essay? No,
Essay or report? Let's see.
I don't know, but
Assignment?
assignment
Essay.
in my university.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have married report. Yeah. Now I have assignment about negotiation in business.
Right. Okay. Tell me about negotiation.
Yeah, yeah. In my lesson, I studied that negotiation is that the action that people have to make a concession to their partner, to people can have a win-win situation rather than a win-lose situation because we have a negotiation. Yeah, for example, when the part, yeah, so now I have a negotiation example about negotiation in business. Yeah, so for example, you have a contract with your partner in another country. Maybe they will make concession about your about price, so you have another concession for them. For example, maybe about unloading or loading fees or something like that. Yeah, yeah, it's about negotiation.
Yeah, and I'm just trying to digest it. I believe that I read somewhere when you just into a meeting about negotiation and you talk about win-win, So it pops out suspicious. I'm fucking. So for some reason, my gut feeling gonna pay attention to what the guy that gonna propose to me, what his win-win solution gonna be.
Yeah.
Well, yes, a win-win solution is in theory is sound good. So let's say you win a contract with me. If you sign a contract with me, I'm gonna solve your problem and you pay for me. So that win-win solution, basic term in there. Is it make sense? Is it make any sense? Is it clear?
Yeah. Can you
Well,
rate yeah.
so I'll slow it down. So win-win solution can could also be saying something like this. Your client have a problem, right? They can't solve a problem. You go into me, I am the supplier. I have problem. To go a supplier, talk about, okay, I have the problem. How do I solve that? I'm a supplier. I'm just saying, okay, you give me about $10. I'll supply you this product to solve your problem. That a win-win negotiation right there in a very simple term. Would that make any
No.
sense? No.
No.
Right,
I don't
counter
think that.
that. Counter that. Why don't you think that a win-win solution? Isn't that a win-win solution? Isn't
Yeah.
it? Isn't it? So why don't you think that a win-win is not a win-win negotiation?
Your case, I I said that your case. I said that is this is a not win-win solution. Is a win-lose situation. I think that.
Why is that a win-lose case? Why is that a win-lose solution?
Yeah, because um I think what should I say? Mm, I don't know how to say that.
That's right. Just take your time. You don't need to like say in a very perfect tense or perfect sentence. Just say it how you feel. Why do you think it's not a win-win solution? Why do you think that a win-lose solution? But that is how business works.
Uh, I I can change my mind
Yeah,
for that
sure,
situation.
sure.
Yeah, yeah.
Change your mind
I
is normal. Changing your mind is normal.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah. I think you are the buyer and my seller. So
Yep.
because you want to buy my product, and I sell my product for you because you buy it. Yeah, and I want to sell it. Every yeah, we have a benefit. Yeah, so in this situation, I think maybe you satisfy with this situation, and I also have my revenue profits for that. Yeah, and you also have your products maybe to produce your many products in your company or something like that. Yeah, so I think it's a win-win solution situation rather than win-lose situation because um, everyone have benefits.
Yep. Exactly. But it's more straightforward, isn't it? But can you give me an example in your report? So you're saying you already wrote a report about win-win solution. So what kind of example did you wrote in your report?
Yeah, in my report, we have one contract with a Thai partner. Yeah, we will have a contract to buy uh, wood from Thailand to Vietnam. So we have a negotiation in Thailand. So we have to prepare something like documents or documents, human resources to go to negotiation with Thai partners. Yeah, on and uh, yeah, they decided to make concession about price, so we have to make another concession to that situation to make sure we can have many contracts in the future. Yeah, so we decided to choose. We can take responsibility for another fees like uh, loading and unloading fees in airport. Yeah, as import to, yeah, to load. Yeah, I understand ideas.
Yeah, yeah, I understand, but I'm trying to say, so I think, in my opinion, that a win-lose solution where Thai winning and you losing.
No, we also have the we also we get the right we have the yeah,
Yeah,
in negotiation we have many types of price. Yeah, reservation price of buyer, reservation of sellers, and target point. So we get the target points of price in that negotiation.
yeah,
Yeah, target point is like the best price in that negotiation. So, and they decided to make another concession, and they agree with it. Yeah.
right.
So I think it's a win-win solution rather than win-lose solution.
Yeah, I understand all that, but I'm trying to pressure you. Don't take me wrong. I understand what you're trying to say. I'm trying to pressure you just for you to explain it further. So to see how good your theory is. So you're trying to say, as long as you still make profit out of it, you're happy to take extra fee just to cover the fee. So in the future, well, let's say you the price that your partner, so say, no, I'll just say client, the partner has aware the price that your client proposed to use already meet your target and you already have profit above it. So you just want to cover the extra cost, so like malicious cost or like 2020 cost, just some kind of nailed out future contract with your client. Is that what you're trying to say? So in the future,
Yes.
you kind of a loyal fee. It's kind of a, yeah, how should I say this? Kind of a loyal fee for your customer, for your client to return back to you in the future if they want to have another contract with you. Or let's say if your product is kind of popular in here, so you want your client to come back to you in the future, but not shopping somewhere else. Is that, am I saying it correctly?
No, as I said
No?
before, yes, as I said before, we have three types of price in the line. So in
Hang
the
on.
left is
Sorry. Ties,
types of types
was
of
that?
price in a line. It's the 3 point in a line. It's like a horizontal line to show about
Yeah, yeah, going on. I'm just trying to imagine it in my head. Three ties.
how to say um
For
you,
example.
you yeah, it's like yeah, we have 0, 1, 2, 3. Yeah,
Yep.
so we have a horizontal line to show 0, 1, 2, 3 in the line. Yeah, can you imagine that?
Yep.
Yeah, so in that line, we will have 3 points to show the yeah to show the price. Yeah, the first one in the left, we will have our seller's reservation price. Yeah, it's like
Right.
the price they know they don't have profit in that. They don't have profit in that, but they
Right.
don't lost. Yeah, they don't lost.
Right.
And
Break even
yeah,
point. Yep.
yeah, at the middle is that the target point, and the right is the buyer buyers are price. It means that the highest price the seller the buyer can pay.
Right.
Yeah, I understand. So we get
Right.
the point. It means we can pay in from the reservation yeah, seller reservation price into our reservation price.
Right. So you act at your as your. I'm not sure. So what is your role in here? You act as a supplier negotiator, or you act as a buyer negotiator,
Yeah,
or you
we
try to.
will we will to buyer. We will buy products from Thai partner. Yeah, so we get the target point. Yeah, yeah, so the highest price is that the buyer reservation price in that line, but we get the target point, so we also have high profit in that situation.
Right. Okay.
Yeah, so I think it's not a win-lose solution because we also have a long space in that line.
Yep.
You understand what I mean?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
So
yeah. I fully understand. Let me have a quick look about definition of win-win negotiation first. Win-win negotiation. I understand your concept, but you know what? It's been a long time. It's been a long, long, long fucking time since I used this time. Because in business, I don't see people going around talk about win-win negotiation. Honestly, I've been work in this environment. Not sure about other environment, but in the construction industry. Well, even if I talk to my CFO, we never we rarely talk about win-win solution at all. I think it's just in some kind of theory that you learn in university.
yeah, I know.
Yeah,
But
so
in
like
reality, it's very different.
it's this term sound really cheesy. I'm not sure if it make any sense. It sounds very cheesy. So
Yeah,
I'll tell you the
I
definition
know.
now. I just got it. Uh, the goal of a win-win or integrative negotiation is a mutually acceptable deal or contract that benefit all parties involved. During a
Yeah,
win-win negotiation, all parties agree to collaborate for the benefit of individuals and the group. Cooperation and compromise are critical component of any win-win strategy. This is from and the definition from an AI, as we can make more sense. A win-win negotiation is a collaborate approach to conflict resolution where all parties involved benefit from the outcome. The goal is to reach a mutual acceptable agreement that meets the needs of everyone rather than one side trying to gain at the expense of other.
yeah.
It sounds fucking cheesy.
Yeah.
It sounds cheesy. Uh how do I say it? I'm just trying to think of an example. But also in reality, where you have a case where win-lose solution being proposed, where let's say I'm talking about, let's say the buyer have a lot of buying. Let's say no, hang on. Let me let me let me reorganize my thought first. Okay, let's say okay, let's say Samsung for example, right? They first introduced their manufacturer in Vietnam, right? And they build up the factory up into a point that is very beneficial, not just for the manufacturer in there, but for the community in there. Right. So now, because a lot of tax have been increased and waste have been increased, Samsung want to pressure the government to lower the tax rate so they have more benefit from it. But the government come back saying, no, I don't want to do that. And then Samsung just coming back, no, if you don't lower the tax rate, I'll just pull out my manufacturer and move to a different country. Like, let's say, for example, it already happened in China with Apple or something like that. So, um,
I don't know.
but let's say let's get back to our situation. So it's not always a win-win solution. So let's say Samsung now have more control about their resource gonna put in Vietnam. Right. If the government do not lower the tax, they're gonna pull out. They're gonna move to different country like Indian or Malaysia or Singapore airline. In this case, you can clearly see that is a win-lose solution where Samsung is gonna win party and Vietnam government losing party. They have to lower the tax rate, right?
Mm.
Just to keep Samsung manufacturing here, not because of Samsung, but because of the economic of that central. So if let's say the manufacturer go and pull out, a lot of people are gonna go into unemployment situation, and the economic of that area can be flop as well because now you have unemployment of the whole area. People are gonna move somewhere else, and then all the local business in that area going bankruptcy because now you have nobody going there buying food, nobody buying shoe, nobody buying clothes. In the end, the government gonna lose more money if they keep the tax rate the same to get money out of Samsung rather than so they can choose to lower the tax rate just to keep Samsung manufacturing here. In China, however, because the market in there is a billion of people. So when foreign country go in there, they want to establish the business in there. So China government make a rule that no, if you want to operate in here, you have to give part of your company to my people, to the Chinese government. You have to, let's say for Facebook, oh no, I think Facebook but being pulled out already. No, Google. Let's say Google. If Google want to have no, was it Google? Was it Google? Let me hang on. I don't believe China let Google work in there, but no, no, no. Google have some of their work being operated in China. So China actually saying that Google, if you want to operate in here, you have to have your database center for Chinese people to be located in China. So China China government can go into database and then monitor their people in there. So in here, clearly Google is saying, they say, no, I don't want to do that. But because of the profits, because of the amount of people in China, it's too high and the profit is too large, they have to establish their database in there and then share their database with Chinese government to work in there. So that clearly is a win-lose solution. So when I'm at a win-win solution, it sounds very cheesy. So I think the basic win-win solution for me is just a buyer want to buy something, go to supplier, okay, supplier they have there, and the price meet the target, they buy. It's not a win-win solution. It's just a basic, simple retail transactions to me. So well, honestly, I don't think a win-win. That's why I'm saying that when I'm here, somebody going to a pitch or a meeting room fixing about something and mention about win-win negotiation or win-win approach, I say, fuck, that's wrong. There's something wrong with this guy. I have to pay more attention to this guy. What the fuck is he talking about? So I'm not sure whether I make any sense to you.
Yes, I understand.
Right. Okay. Sorry. Sorry. I'm sorry, but
Yeah.
yeah, in I remember when I was in university, this is a really favorite term. It's like people are using this term a lot, but well, in reality, no, no.
Yeah, I think that, but yeah, but in theory we have to study that, but
Yep.
in reality it's very different.
Yep.
We have accepted.
Yeah. Sharp always to eat smaller fish. So anyway, any more topic that you want to talk about? Sorry, just to talk about it. I'm feeling so bad right now. Um, do you have any topic that you want to talk about we can discuss? Well, honestly, your approach may be right. So when you talk with me, there's nothing right or wrong. So I'm not trying to silence you or something. I'll just tell you my opinion, and that's it.
Yes, I know,
Don't
I know.
don't take it the wrong way. Okay. Is that interesting? The way how I explained to you, is that interesting?
Yeah. Yeah, maybe it's different with my teacher taught to me, but I think it's right in reality. Yeah,
Yeah,
but sometimes also in reality, we also have to compromise with with everybody
yeah,
about it to
yeah,
make sure we can have a long-term relationship, because when we always have win-lose solution, maybe we will corrupt we will interrupt
yeah.
relationship. Yeah.
Yeah, so let's get back to the win-win solution right now. So when I'm trying to work, so like I also have a target point, like you say earlier, so horizontal 0, 1, 2, 3, let's say something. So I'll mark it out. So let's say for my work, try to get into the point that I have the higher profit. I'm not going to the middle. I'm going to a higher profit. So like, which is why it benefits the most for me. But with a human, and the difference between human and animal, we have our own perspective. You know, Darwin theory.
Down.
Darwin theory. Darwin theory is like the evolve of human, the evolve of animal.
Ah, yes,
Yeah,
I
right.
know, I know.
So
Even-
the Darwin theory is the weak die off and the strong live on, right? Human is the only species look after the weak one. Let's say you have disability people, well, we do not abandon them. Humans is the only species that help. Well, not all of human, if you know what I mean, but like some of us is we're the strong helping out the weak. And if you reading all of a lot of so actually this is actually happened. It's not this is from the Qing Empire. So in the Qing Empire, they do a research about a group of monkey that live in forest. So monkey they gonna pass all to of their leader. So in the beginning, the team that strong always try to challenge another team just to take out the leader role of it. In the beginning, scientists thinking that the stronger team always the strongest the youngest and the stronger team always take the leader role the longest and manage the group the longest. But that was wrong. Over time, they found out that the team who know how to negotiate peace between each other team stay in the leader role the longest. Fascinating, right? But all human mechanisms like have another step that the stronger look after the weak ones. So that's why we evolve to this like this nowadays. You know,
Yeah.
like and also they saying that people who seeking for power always start to corrupt. And if you read all of the story, that the king always give the power to the child that do not want any power at all, because the child that do not want power, he just try to survive and look after the people, do not want to try to take control of everything. And if you want to try to take control of everything, over time you become a tyranny. And that happened in the past over dynasty rise up and fall, dynasty rise up and fall.
Yeah.
I'm just saying that one of the system that's last the longest is the Greek and the US, where democracy, well, in the Greek and US they have democracy where they give people and citizens the right to vote for a new leader to come after a short period of time. Not like China or like King, you like where they rule up over maybe 600, no, not 600, maybe 100 of year, or maybe 200 of year, and then it's all collapse. But there are a lot of chaos in the system. But where in the Greek and in the US, they vote out one person only have absolute power one every 4 years, but they have First Amendment and Second Amendment. The Second Amendment is where they grant the citizen of the U.S. have the power to weaponize themselves just in case where the president or the government become a tyranny. When they have weapon with them, they can rising up and then have a civil war, and then they try to I'm not sure how should I say it, take back the government. Right. Let's say you're being dominated by, the difference between a stronger person with a smaller person with a gun. When the gun was being invented, the gap between the strong guy and the smaller guy just gone. You know what I mean?
Yes, I know. It's
Yeah.
a
So when
weapon. Yeah. Yeah.
when when the gun being invented, the gap between the strong guy and the small guy just gone. It's just gone. So the small guy should pull out a gun and shot that guy. That's gone. So now they come to tactic. But anyway, that is topic for another story for another day. But yeah,
But
so it's just from win-win, but we go all the ways to tyranny and dying. Anyway, so where was we? We talking about win-win negotiation.
yeah.
Oh fuck. Sorry.
Yeah.
Yep. Anyway, so now I'm looking to win-win negotiation. I'll still laugh my shit off. Anyway, yeah, it's been a while. It's been a while since I used that term. Okay. Do you have any more topic you want to discuss about? I have about maybe 10 in the next 5 minutes. My sister coming home. She just asked me to have a dinner with her.
Honestly, I don't know what to ask you now,
Yeah,
but
that's
maybe
fine.
you can say it. Yeah.
That's all right. So I have a list of device. Normally my device, I'll ask a few questions. I was about to ask about carnivore. I asked them this question before. Do you think you become a vegan, or do you know what vegan is? You know what carnivore is?
Vegan, can you explain it?
Vegan is a type of person who eat vegetable only. All product that they eat is just plant based. They do not eat meat,
Ah, yes.
or they do not eat egg. Carnivores is a person, is a type of person who they eat meat only, meat product only. They do not eat plant based. They do not eat veggie or something like that. Make sense?
Yeah. So what is the difference between them? Or
Vegan only eat vegetable.
yeah, I know.
Carnivore only eat meat. Do you think vegan kill less animal than carnivore?
Oh, it's difficult question for me. Yeah, vegan.
Do you think vegan kill like yeah, vegan is just a type of person who eat vegetable only? Do you think become a vegan you gotta kill less people than eating meat or cannibal? Very interesting question, is it? Very
Yeah,
interesting question. Think
yeah.
about
So
it.
very interesting. Yeah.
Think about it. Your answer might be wrong. No, I shouldn't say wrong. My answer might be different from what you think. Think about it, and we may talk about it next time. I'll give you a heads up.
Yeah. I guess maybe you will say the vegan will you kill many animals than rather
Why?
than
Why?
I guess
That the
that.
fun
But
part. That the fun part. Get why. That the fun part.
yeah, it's so interesting. Yeah.
Why? Explain me. Explain to me. So, do you think eating vegetable only kill less animal, or don't kill animal at all?
Yeah.
We talk about it next week. I had to go out with my sister now.
Yes. I will think thoroughly about it.
Okay.
Yes.
I'll talk to you next time.
Yes.
All right. See ya.
Yes. Bye.
You have a good night. Bye.
Bye.